Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is some spoiler talk on Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. If you didn't watch my Tony Hawk review, then you're probably unaware that I normally do my reviews on Tuesday, and these kind of videos on every other Saturday, but I flipped around this time because, well, I finished Tony Hawk so damn quickly. What I'll be talking about in this video, though, is the ending of Danganronpa, specifically the fact that it ended with a giant, "and more to come in the next episode" type of ending, and, well, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's something that I hate in games and movies, specifically because, in the case of smaller games and or movies, you never know if there is actually going to be that sequel. You never know if the first one's going to do well enough. Now, admittedly, this is the third Danganronpa game, but you never know if there will be a fourth, and so having an ending like that just really bothers me. It's not that I actually have anything against sequels or numbered releases, it's simply the fact that in cases like that, they could get your hopes up that there's going to be some amazing conclusion in the sequel, and then you never get the sequel. And in those cases, when you don't get the sequel or the next title in the franchise, it kind of shits on the rest of the franchise when that happens. Like in the case of the Danganronpa games, the first two had very open endings. I mean, they left it open for a sequel, but had there not been a sequel or a following game, the story still would have been complete. And yes, I understand that Danganronpa 2, yes, you needed to have played the first game to actually understand what was going on in the second game, but the second game and the first game still had their own endings. Whereas Danganronpa Another Episode simply says there is going to be a sequel. It doesn't really fully wrap up the story. Here's the really spoilery part about it. So, heads up for the second time. At the end, there's a cutscene with Shirakuma's head as well as Kurakuma's head being carted off by somebody in a wheelbarrow. And they're talking about how Big Sis Junko isn't really dead. They essentially tell you, full on, that the main antagonist of the series isn't actually dead. They full on say that what went down in Toa City was completely unimportant to Junko. For anyone who has played the Danganronpa games, that screams that there is a sequel coming. I don't know, like I said at the beginning, that's just something that really rubs me the wrong way. I prefer my stories to be contained, like self-contained, single-shot stories. I am fine with the possibility of sequels, and I'm fine with endings leaving it open for sequels, but I want that ending to also wrap up the story, not to sit there and go, "Hey, wait for the sequel!" So in the comments below, why don't you let me know if it bugs you when a game or movie screams that you have to wait for the sequel for a conclusion. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, subscribe. Have a good one.